Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening, as we're here now on August 11th, Monday, 2025, 6 p.m. Central Time. I got my Daryl's house on this time, so that makes things fun. All righty, folks, so let's talk about things, because there's a lot of news that went on today. One of the things before I even go into any of this is I apologize for not being able to do weekend updates. I have a terrible bad back. I've had scheduled an epidural that finally took place this morning, and we'll see how that does for it. I've had 2 back operations in my lifetime. They were 30 years ago, but it comes back, and this was close to paralyzing me from walking. And just standing in front of the screen was super powerful and bad. Plus my wife, her retirement party, her birthday party, people coming in. We even had people come in from Washington, D.C. One of the department's press secretaries was here. I can't tell you which one, sworn to secrecy. But interesting fun. And I had to be myself, and standing too much was a real killer for me. So I apologize. I had the shot today, and I'm in front of the screen, so that's a good sign, right? These things take a while, though, because right now it's probably the other drug that's doing the job. And I was late this morning. They made me take sleeping pills before all this. In any case, National Federation of Independent Business, they're coming out tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. They're looking for 99. The U.S. July Consumer Price Index, that's at 730. The Red Book Group, they've been running 5.5%, 6%, 6.25%. Keep your eye there. And of course, let me go back to CPI. You know that the government thinks that eventually inflation is going to show up. We don't know when. We don't know the point. Everybody's watching CPI, PPI, and their concern, of course, is labor is weakening. So if you don't get CPI numbers that come in hot, it means all eyes are going to go right back onto the labor market, and that's why you have a 95, 96 percentile bet that there'll be a rate cut in September. Make a hot CPI and a hot PPI, that number will come down sharply. Richmond Fed President Barkin's going to speak at 9 o'clock tomorrow to a health management group. But the bigger news, no gold tariffs. So we waited all weekend, didn't get them. By the way, there was no tariff on Russian oil. You saw that as they decided to make a deal that Russia would fly across the Bering Sea and meet in Alaska to meet with President Trump. I don't know that President Zelensky's there. The president has to go back and tell Europe what it is. I fully expect that everybody believes, including me, there's going to be land give up by Ukraine to attain peace. I don't know how much. I don't know where. About 20% of the land has been captured of Ukraine by Russia. We will see what the pressure is. At the end of the day, Ukraine can say no to everything, but who's going to pay for their war? I mean, there'll get to be a point where all NATO members want to say, hey, this is too much. I'm just giving you ideas here to see where that's all going to carry. Then we had President Trump takes over Washington, D.C. Yep, he kept threatening he would do it. He's done it, and he's right. Have you ever been to Washington, D.C.? What a gorgeous city, the gemstone of government. And it is something to behold. I've been there a number of times. And it has recently become dirty, full of people, homeless people, crime. Crime has come down, admittedly, somewhat, but it's come down in a lot of cities somewhat. The filth is there. The problems are there. I guess that what he's saying is, from his eyes, the filth and all that, the mayor can't take care of it. He can. So the mayor can either jump on board or she'll be the person out. The same with the police chief. He can jump on board or he's going to be the odd guy out. So we will see what happens there. And by the way, other cities in America, get ready. If this experiment works, it's going to be on them. And you'll hear the fight back. Who doesn't want clean, safe cities? What's wrong with you all? No governments. Now, the U.S. government, the U.S. government in a wild deal that actually began with Apple last week coming to the president, and I call it a buy-off. They give $100 billion to invest more in the United States. The arm goes around Tim Cook. He's my buddy now from President Trump. Now another big deal. Apparently, somehow, Nvidia and AMD got the president's ear and said, listen, we want to sell our chips in China. We believe China will take them. Instead of them paying the 15% tariff, Nvidia will pay to you and AMD will pay to you 15% of the Chinese sales. The government bought it. Now we'll see if China wants to take it, but China's no worse off. So whatever they're buying from Nvidia, it's not 15% more. Big profit margins we know in these companies, so does it really matter? So did their stocks go up? Not really. That's the interesting part of it, right? Now I want to also tell you that even though I was really hurting this weekend, I did a special report on gold. So I cover in it price charts of weekly, daily, seasonal charts from SeasonX, the Moore Research Center, the price count from the QT people, and our thoughts on the market. I wrap it up for you. I tie the US dollar thoughts into it as well. I think it's something you want to look at. And this break we had today, I was expecting it. No surprise, as I didn't think the 15% tariff was going to hold up and the markets pulled back, but this is what makes it exciting. There'll be icons up here. Just simply give it a click and go look at the report. All right, so let's go to the chart action if we could. And I'm going to continue with toast. I have a favor to ask. Write me tonight at Ira Epstein at Linn LLC, or if you're watching it on YouTube, write right there. Tell me what you want me to cover, and tomorrow I'll start covering. I'll pick the best of the group, okay? But I figured I didn't have the time. I literally got back from the hospital 2 hours ago, so give me a shot at catching up, if you will. But it's mostly a sea of red. Boeing was down on the day, as you could see. No surprise there. Tesla took off, up $9, which is kicking up ARK. She continues to buy massive amounts. You know, ARK lists by the day what they buy. And they were buying very heavily last week into Tesla. Lilly came back from the dead, up $9 today. Nvidia, as I said, they're giving 15%. The market didn't like it. It's down 68 cents. I think Uber's basing out again. I'd be paying close attention to that if I were you. Another rally off the lows. So we've rallied off the lows in Netflix now, what, about $70, $80 or so. We're starting to pull back a little bit in Amazon, as you could see. Let's go to the chart action. So in toast, I have been looking for this to occur. I started covering it here because I am bullish long-term on the chart. The chart finally has come down with earnings and other parts of the market, lower highs, lower lows, back into a downtrend, but instantly under the Bollinger Band and probably going to challenge the 100-day average, and I think it'll find good support at that number. When we take a look at what the market wants to, let's go to the next chart, the slow stochastics. They're oversold. So as I look at the market, you have an oversold market that could challenge the 100-day average in a downtrend right now. That's fine. Let the market do its thing. I think long-term on the weekly chart, it looks a lot better. Then I look at Netflix. Look at how it's come back. So Netflix got down to 1144. Today's high was 1223. So as I said, nearly a $70 rally or so, looking pretty good and overbought. In Dash, we have a higher high and a lower low coming down. These were the really good earnings. It got ahead of itself. When you see a number spike over that Bollinger Band, most times, I'm never going to say all the time, that is where you want to be bailing. Let the market come back to you, and that's just what's happening here. In Google, we're developing a bullish embedded reading. Both numbers were over 80 today. On Friday, both were over 80. Both were over 80 on Thursday, not the day before. So now, give me a good break, and tomorrow in my subscriber video, I'll be discussing what to do. In Starbucks, so you've come off the lows, back to the 18-day average. One more time, I want to explain it. You got under that Bollinger Band, and I know that so many people, that's it, it's going to HELL. No, it's not. Markets over here, they're not going to heaven either. All right? They're telling you that they're getting overdone one way or the other. It's getting a little rich. I love Robinhood, but I would certainly not tell you to buy over an upper Bollinger Band. Tesla, back to these highs. So Tesla's doing pretty darn good. Tesla has, since Musk has fired people, since he got away from building his own chip, which I loved to hear it, go buy Nvidia, buy AMD, buy whatever you need. Let the other guys build the chips to your specs. You don't need to be in that business. It's like him wanting to have with all his cabs, which I get. He doesn't want to give that business to Uber because he thinks it's going to be so lucrative. Maybe Uber can also fit into that business in a way. They pay something extra if they call it from there, so you keep that. But I think Uber's going to share in everything at the end of the day. I love Joby, as you know. I love this whole idea of flying small planes, parts of a city, beating traffic. It starts off with the very well-to-do. You know, the Saudis make sense of it. Abu Dhabi makes sense of it. Wherever there's massive money. But it will come to the masses in time because the boring idea isn't going to work, all right? Tesla's boring, has not proven it's viable commercially. End of discussion. We were supposed to have one in Chicago 4 years ago. I haven't seen a hole drilled. Higher high, lower low, market down. The idea is phenomenal, doesn't work. Then what we've got in XLI is a higher high, lower low, market pointing down right through here. There's a lot of nothings to do. Oversold in XLE. What's energy going to do? You know that if something good happens out of energy, Russian oil frees up on the marketplace, and behind it, you're going to get other countries out of OPEC that want to release more oil after September. Just keep your eye on that. They'll do their best to manage it. GLD, look at how it fell apart once you took the 15% tariff off. That's all that it was. Would I have bought the rumor? No chance. You wait. But I want to come back here. Does that look like a super bearish chart? It does not. Be patient. The tariff news is yet to hit. If you don't think that that's the case, boy, are you wrong. The tariff news is coming. I've been watching Paul Krugman, others, and they're saying what I am. At first, the companies are going through inventories that they brought in. Then they're going to eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But the reality of any company eating a 10% tariff indefinitely ain't going to happen unless you're in Nvidia or an AMD for a while where you have margins that are 70%, 80%, whatever they are. You can afford to give some of that back for a limited customer, not for everybody. Silver market. Higher high, lower low, drifting around as I want to call it. Copper, what a recovery. So the miners have come all the way back up. I'll call this much more normal, not tradable. Bollinger Band, basically Bollinger Band. Nah, I don't call that tradable. And now we have to see what BND and TLT want to do is we're getting a better handle on interest rates. You know these markets are just baking in like your mama baked the cake. They are baking in. The Fed's going on a cut spree. Most people saying 2 to 3. Okay, show me the PPI and CPI. Make me a believer. In UUP, the dollar turned back up. Now, it should have its trouble at the 100-day average. You don't want to see this get back under 27.39. If it does, be careful. You could be coming back down for these lows. So I know where I believe the market's going to hold, and you don't want to see FXE get back over the recent highs. That'll be a big problem for it. So one more time, take advantage of the gold report. You see the icons right here. Give it a click. I'm Ira Epstein. I'll catch up with you tomorrow.